Hi there, welcome to Homestyle Woodcrafts. I'm James. Today we're going to do a review of the Ryobi BT3100 10-inch table saw. Alright, so you may be wondering, why do a review on such an old saw? Well, I just got a new one, and since there is an active market for used power tools, I thought before I let it go, I would do a review on it. Now you have to know that from my perspective in this review, I come at it from a hobbyist. I'm not a professional woodworker. And so my use of it has been probably relatively light in comparison to other types of woodworkers. And so I'll be doing a review of the table saw itself and the accessory kit that I bought along with it. So let's go. All right, so I wanted to show you what's included in the accessory kit. So we have the router mounting kit, the miter slot table, the miter clamping kit, the dust bag, the 4-inch casters to move it around, the zero clearance throat plate, and the dado throat plate. So I thought I'd give you some of the basic statistics. First of all, the motor is a 15 amp motor, 120 volt, and gets the blade up to 4,800 RPMs. And you can use it with just regular household power. For my purposes, like I mentioned, I'm a hobbyist, but for my purposes, it's always been a sufficient amount of power. Overall, it's 107 pounds. That includes a stand. And I found that it's relatively easy to move. I guess for a table saw. I mean, it's not easy to move, but it hasn't been too much of a problem. I can usually get it where I want it to go. Overall, the rails are 41.5 inches long. Rail to rail, it's 26 3/4 inches wide. And the work top, the work surface, is 38.5 inches tall. Just thought I'd take you on a tour of the table saw. So first of all, we've got the rip fence. It's got a locking handle on it here. It's always, the action of the slide has always been pretty good, and the accuracy has always been pretty good. I've had to do very little adjustment. We've got the 10-inch blade here, the riving knife, the anti-kick back pawls, and boy, are they sharp. I can't tell you how many times I have caught myself on those. And then we have the blade guard. Here we've got the sliding miter table and the miter fence, and this is a little clamp that was part of the accessory kit. And I'll tell you, this has worked out really good. I've really enjoyed this feature on the table saw. It's worked out really good. It's made it very easy to use to do cross cuts. Here's the blade adjustment and the on-off switch. The on-off switch can be locked. And then, of course, you can just hit this to turn it off. Blade adjustment is all in this one wheel. You move this lever to adjust it from tilting for the bevel to raising it. Over time, this has gotten a little stiff to move, and I've had to make a little bit of adjustment there. The blade tilts to the right on this table saw. Here's the router table accessory. They're not very well aligned right now because I just had put them on from having them off for another project. Of course, the router's under here. One thing that's nice is you can plug the router here, and then you can use the on-off switch to turn the router on and off. Of course, we have the protection here for safety. Overall, I have to say, not that impressed with this part. Never really been able to do accurate routing with it. Now, full disclosure, I haven't done a lot of routing, and it could be I just haven't taken the time to set it up right. I have spent some time, never really gotten results that I like. So kind of mixed review there. On the side, we have some tool storage. This is where I often put the fence when I need to get it out of the way. Here's the dust collection on the back. It's a cloth bag. It's worked okay. a lot of dust comes out the front of the saw when I'm sawing. So I would rate dust control as not that great. I have found the owner's manual to be very helpful. It's something I've referred to back many times over the years. It's got schematics of the saw. It has great operations instructions, even some basic woodworking instructions that I found helpful when I was getting started. So we take a little bit of tour of the table saw, and I thought I'd just give you kind of a rundown of what I thought the big pros and cons are. So cons, first of all, for me, I found removing the riving knife was clunky, so I never really bothered with that. Didn't really need too much of the kinds of projects I did, so I didn't feel like I was missing out on a lot, but it was kind of a factor in how I used the saw. Dust collection, dust management wasn't great. Always had a bunch to sweep up. The accessory wheels, I was really hoping for more out of those to help me move the saw around. They're okay, but I'd give it low marks on that. And the router table, again, I never really feel like I figured that out very well. Could be user error, could be a little bit of both. As far as the noise goes, it's loud, of course, but then again, it's a table saw, and I don't really have anything to compare it to because all my experiences with one table saw. As far as the pros go, instructions were good. Owner's manual was great. Despite the wheels, because it's a relatively light saw, it wasn't that big of a problem to move. I could, I never moved it far, and I could kind of get it to where I needed to go. For me, it always pretty well maintained its accuracy and alignment. There were a few times I had to do an adjustment, but overall, I found it was pretty good. And it always had enough power for my projects. Then again, I'm a hobbyist. I do kind of smaller woodworking projects. My big overall review is it's been a good saw for me, and I would recommend it if you were able to find one in good condition. I don't know how it would do with sort of intensive use for really big things, but for me, at my level, hobbyist level, it was great. And I just decided it was time to upgrade and did recently. But it's been a good saw, and after 20 years of use, it still operates really well. So I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to a friend if they were interested in one. Interestingly, you can still find parts on eBay and Amazon. There are still some YouTube videos on operations that you might want to check out, and there are blog posts and other reviews talking about it. So there's still information about it and the parts. And so if you find one that's in good shape and it seems like it meets your needs, then you could probably still make it usable. Anyway, hope that answers any questions you might have about this Ryobi table saw, and good luck.